Hello, in this video we're going to be going over the new PPP loan forgiveness application form 3508EZ. In particular, we're going to be going over the checklist for this form. This video is brought to you by my Franchise CPAs and First Financial. So this form is used to determine if you're eligible for the easy type. If you think tax returns, your easy form is your quicker form to file. And there's only 3 items on this checklist. So if you're able to check any one of these 3, then you are eligible for the easy form. So let's see what the items say. First, the borrower is a self-employed individual. So let's underline key terms here. Self-employed individual, independent contractor, or a sole proprietor who had no employees when they originally applied, and did not include any employee salaries in the computation of average monthly payroll when you originally applied for your PPP loan. So these items are heavily based on the responses that you gave originally. If you're a self-employed individual, independent contractor, or sole prop that didn't factor any salaries into the PPP loan amount because you don't have any employees, then you would be able to check this box and you'll be able to use the easy form. Now, if you are not a self-employed individual, well, then we have to go down and see what these other 2 boxes say. The borrower did not reduce annual salary or hourly wages of any employee by more than 25%. This is critical. Did not reduce salary or wages for any employee by more than 25%. So what does that mean? That means that you could have reduced all of your employees by 20%, or you could reduce one employee's pay by 24%, or even 25%. But if you exceed that, now you're no longer eligible for the easy form. During the covered period or alternative payroll covered period, which is designed in this form, compared to the period from January 1, 2020 and March 31, 2020. So you're comparing the period for which you're eligible for forgiveness, that's called the covered period, and then Q1 of 2020. That's how you determine if you met that 25% threshold or not. A key here is that they exclude any employee with more than 100K in pay. So your top paid employees are excluded from this calculation. Now, the second 2 check marks, they have an and here. So you have to meet 2 criteria in order to be able to use the easy form. The borrowers did not reduce the number of employees or the average paid hours of employees between January 1, 2020 and the end of the covered period. So let's say your covered period ends at the end of this month of June. Then what this is saying is you did not reduce the number of employees or the average number of hours of employees. So there's not even a threshold here. It's not a percentage. You just could not have reduced your number of employees or the hours. Now there are a couple exceptions here. If you were unable to hire similarly qualified employees to fill those positions. So let's say you had 10 employees and you're able to keep 7 and you need to find 3 more. Well, you need to find 3 more that fit those roles of the 3 employees that left. And if you can't, well, then if you can show that you were unable to fill those roles, then that would not be counted. Also, instances where you offered to restore employee hours and the employee refused. They might have said, "Hey, I'm better off on unemployment. Thanks, but no thanks." So as long as you're able to show those things, then you can get some exemptions there. Now, the second, or really the third check mark here is similar to the second one. So we're going to point out what is different here. So the entire first point, the first criterion, is the same as above, which we just looked at. The second point is different. The borrower was unable to operate during the covered period at the same level of business activity as before February 15th, 2020 due to compliance with requirements established or guidance issued between March 1 and December 31 of 2020 by the Secretary of Health and Human Services, the Director of Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, related to the maintenance of standards of sanitation, social distancing. So what is this saying? This is saying if you had to slow down your business because of the virus and because of mandates from the federal government and related agencies, then you really only have to follow this first point, that the salary or wages did not drop by more than 25%. In the second bullet point, or the second check mark, this is assuming that you could operate the same as you did before the virus. And in which case, well, if you could operate the same, we don't want to see any reduction in employees or average paid hours. If you had to shut down shop, we'll continue to pay your employees, even if they have to stay home, but you're paying them and you don't reduce the pay by more than 25%, well, then you can get full forgiveness for your loan and you can use the easy form. And that's it. So, as a recap, the purpose of the checklist here is to determine if you are eligible to use the easy form. If you can check one of the boxes, then you're eligible. In the next video, I'm going to go through the easy form and how to complete that, as well as provide an update on what the PPP Flexibility Act provides us. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.